Have you ever noticed how people only realize your worth once you're gone? It's a thought that can sting deeply, yet also spark a powerful shift in perspective. Imagine giving your heart and soul to every moment and every relationship, only to later discover that your true value was never truly recognized until you chose to step away. Picture those times when you poured kindness, energy, and passion into the lives around you, only for it to seem unnoticed until your absence left an unmistakable void. This feeling is both heartbreaking and eye-opening, urging you to look inward and understand that your worth isn't defined by the fleeting recognition of others. If this resonates with you, know that you are not alone. There's a whole world waiting to learn how to reclaim that lost power. Many of us have struggled with the need for validation and the deep-seated desire to be appreciated. In our everyday lives, it's all too common to cling to the hope that if we just give a little more or stay a little longer, others will finally see our true value. But here's a secret. Real strength often lies in detachment. When you begin to free yourself from the constant need for approval, you unlock an inner calm and resilience that is both captivating and transformative. Think of the person who stands tall, unwavering in their convictions, even amid life's storms. This is the essence of Stoic strength. It's not about being indifferent or aloof. Rather, it's about cultivating a magnetic presence that radiates from a deep sense of self-respect and inner peace. When you let go of the need for external validation and focus on your inner worth, you become someone who naturally commands respect. And soon enough, those who once overlooked you may come to regret not recognizing the unique light you possessed. Today, I invite you to embark on a journey that will transform the way you view your relationships and your self-worth. In this video, you will learn 10 powerful Stoic mindsets, each a practical tool designed to help you embrace the freedom that comes with detachment. Over the next few minutes, you'll discover techniques that empower you to manage your emotions, let go of what you cannot control, and build a life where your value shines through regardless of the noise around you. Imagine navigating your daily challenges with a calm, steady resolve that leaves others in awe, not because you sought their approval, but because you learned to appreciate and honor your own strength. Each mindset will offer you not only insightful historical wisdom, but also relatable modern-day examples and clear, actionable steps that you can start applying immediately. Before we begin, hit that like button so we can spread the wisdom of Stoicism together. As we move forward, you'll see how every setback can become a stepping stone towards a more confident and self-assured version of yourself. The techniques we explore today are not abstract theories. They are practical methods that have helped countless individuals turn moments of vulnerability into opportunities for profound personal growth. Picture this. By the end of our time together, you'll have a clear roadmap, a series of steps that will empower you to stand firm in your truth and transform how you interact with the world around you. Seneca once said, "If you want to be loved, love." And today we are taking that lesson to heart by learning to prioritize our own self-respect and inner balance. As you listen to these insights, allow them to gently shift your perspective. Understand that the journey ahead is not merely about acquiring knowledge, but about rediscovering the inherent power that lies within you. Every word, every pause, is meant to guide you toward a more fulfilling and empowered state of being, a state where your actions are not dictated by the need for external validation, but by a deep, unwavering belief in your own worth. This is your moment to break free from the cycle of unreciprocated efforts and start living a life that is rich in self-respect, authenticity, and quiet strength. Together, let's explore these timeless Stoic mindsets and unlock the secret to a life that is both resilient and deeply fulfilling. With every mindset we uncover, you'll find a practical takeaway that can transform everyday challenges into powerful opportunities for growth. This isn't just another philosophy lesson, it's a call to reclaim your power and reshape your future, one thoughtful step at a time. Let's begin this journey of transformation and self-discovery, and open the door to a world where your absence becomes a testament to the strength and value you've always held within. Technique number 1. The power of walking away. Have you ever felt ignored until you walked away? Picture yourself in a situation where, despite offering your time and energy, your contributions were overlooked until the moment you chose to step aside. That sudden silence, that brief absence, can reveal more about your worth than 1,000 words. It's as if the world suddenly takes notice when you remove yourself, shining a light on the value you always carried. There's an unspoken power in choosing to walk away. It communicates clearly that you are not meant to be taken for granted. We all know that humans tend to crave what they cannot have. It's a truth deeply woven into our nature. When you choose to step back, you allow that natural human tendency to work in your favor. The Stoic lesson of detachment teaches us that by not clinging desperately to situations or people, we preserve our inherent worth. Seneca once said, "If you want to be loved, love." In this context, the message is clear: invest in yourself first. By valuing your own energy and boundaries, you create a space that others recognize as rare and meaningful. The act of walking away is not an act of abandonment, but a powerful declaration of self-respect. It reminds others that your presence is a gift, not something to be endlessly taken for granted. Let me share a story that brings this idea to life. Consider the tale of a young professional, Emma, who was always the go-to person at her office. Day in and day out, she was available to help, always smiling and sacrificing her own time to meet everyone's needs. Over time, her constant availability began to lose its luster. Colleagues started to expect her assistance without ever showing gratitude, and even her managers overlooked her contributions. One day, feeling unappreciated and exhausted, Emma decided to change her approach. She began to say no when her plate was already full and started prioritizing her own projects. Almost immediately, the atmosphere shifted. Colleagues noticed her absence in overburdened meetings, and her ideas, when shared, carried a newfound weight. Emma's simple act of stepping back awakened a realization in everyone around her that her energy was both valuable and scarce. Her story is a testament to how walking away, when done with dignity, can spark respect and admiration. Now here's a challenge for you. For the next 7 days, stop chasing people who don't reciprocate your energy. Instead, focus on nurturing your own growth and well-being. Watch how those around you begin to mirror the respect you've started to embody. This isn't about playing hard to get. It's about affirming your self-worth and letting your absence speak volumes. Stay tuned, because next we'll explore another transformative mindset that builds on this very principle, empowering you to continue reclaiming your space and strength. Technique number 2, detach from outcomes. Have you ever found yourself overly invested in how things turn out, only to feel disappointed when reality doesn't match your expectations? Imagine releasing the grip on outcomes and simply being present in the moment. That shift in perspective can change everything. When you learn to detach from the outcome, you free yourself from the chains of expectation, allowing your true self to shine without the burden of what might or might not happen. Our human nature often forces us to become entangled with outcomes, seeking validation and security in results. But attachment, in its very nature, weakens our resolve. The Stoics taught us that letting go of expectations is not about indifference, it's about embracing reality and finding peace within it. Marcus Aurelius wrote extensively about the art of accepting things beyond our control. By focusing on our actions rather than the results, we align ourselves with a natural flow that builds inner strength and resilience. When we detach, we create room for authentic growth, allowing our efforts to speak for themselves without the shadow of anxiety over future rewards. Consider the modern story of Liam, an entrepreneur who once measured his self-worth solely by the success of his projects. For years, every setback felt like a personal failure. One day, after a particularly challenging venture, Liam decided to change his mindset. He began to celebrate the process, the learning, the connections, the small wins, regardless of whether his ventures reached their anticipated outcomes. Over time, this shift not only alleviated his constant stress, but also led to more innovative ideas and a renewed passion for his work. His ability to detach from specific outcomes enabled him to be more creative and resilient. Liam's journey shows that when you free yourself from the tyranny of expectation, you can channel your energy into meaningful action, ultimately creating success on your own terms. Here's your actionable step. For the next week, focus on the process rather than the end result. Embrace each step, learn from every experience, and notice how your stress diminishes while your creativity blossoms. This practice will empower you to move forward with a sense of freedom, knowing that your worth isn't tied to the final outcome. Get ready, because our next mindset will reveal yet another secret to living a life that is as free as it is powerful. Technique number 3. Silence is power. Have you ever noticed that sometimes the most impactful statements are made in silence? Think of a moment when words were unnecessary and your quiet presence spoke louder than any conversation ever could. In today's noisy world, choosing silence is a radical act. It commands respect, demands attention, and leaves a lasting impression without uttering a single word. It's often said that actions speak louder than words, and in many ways, silence can be even more persuasive. The psychology behind this is simple. When you speak less, people are naturally drawn to listen more. The Stoics valued restraint and believed that holding back excessive words allowed the mind to process and reflect deeply. Epictetus taught that the wisdom of silence is a form of strength. It shows that you are secure enough in your own mind to let your actions define you. By embracing silence, you create an aura of mystery and authority that words alone can never achieve. It's not about being unresponsive. It's about choosing your moments carefully, letting your presence and thoughtful actions do the talking. Let me share a story from history. In ancient Rome, there was a renowned statesman who was known for his brevity. When he spoke, every word was weighed and measured, leaving listeners captivated by his calm assurance. In modern times, consider the example of Maya, a leader in her community who rarely needed to raise her voice. Instead, her quiet demeanor and measured responses made her a natural magnet for respect and admiration. When conflicts arose, her calm silence diffused tension and forced others to rethink their positions. Her ability to remain silent in heated moments turned her into a beacon of wisdom, demonstrating that true power often lies in knowing when not to speak. For you, here's a practical challenge. For the next 7 days, practice holding back your immediate responses in conversations. Observe how this deliberate silence not only changes the dynamic around you, but also strengthens your inner resolve. Notice the respect that comes when your few words carry the weight of thoughtfulness. This simple exercise can transform your interactions, paving the way for even greater personal authority. Up next, we'll delve into another technique that will help you harness control over your emotions, setting the stage for even deeper inner strength. Technique number 4. Master emotional control. Have you ever felt overwhelmed by a sudden surge of emotion, only to later wish you had paused before reacting? Imagine if you could maintain a steady calm, regardless of the storm around you. Mastering emotional control means not letting your feelings dictate your actions, and it starts with recognizing that your emotions are tools you can manage rather than be managed by. Human beings are wired to react. It's natural to feel anger, sadness, or excitement. However, the true power lies in understanding these emotions and channeling them constructively. The Stoics believed that emotions, when left unchecked, could cloud judgment and weaken resolve. Marcus Aurelius once advised that controlling your mind is the ultimate victory. When you master your emotions, you take back control of your life. This level of discipline not only earns you respect from others, but also helps you navigate challenges with clarity and purpose. It is about being the calm in the chaos, allowing you to respond thoughtfully instead of reacting impulsively. Consider the example of Alex, a manager in a fast-paced corporate environment. Faced with constant pressure and unexpected setbacks, Alex initially struggled with frustration and impulsiveness. Realizing that his emotional outbursts were affecting his team, he embarked on a journey to master his emotions. Alex began practicing mindfulness techniques and took deliberate pauses before responding to stressful situations. Over time, his newfound calmness transformed the workplace atmosphere. His team not only admired his self-control, but also became more resilient and collaborative as a result. Alex's journey shows that when you learn to control your emotional responses, you not only protect your own well-being, but also inspire those around you. Now, here's a practical exercise for you. For the next 7 days, when you feel a surge of strong emotion, pause for a moment. Breathe deeply and count to 10 before you speak or act. Notice how this small practice helps you respond with clarity rather than impulsivity. By consistently applying this technique, you'll begin to cultivate an inner calm that transforms how you handle even the most challenging situations. Up ahead, we'll explore another mindset that shows you how to create value simply by being selectively present. Technique number 5. The law of scarcity. Be less available. Have you ever experienced the phenomenon where something that is always accessible becomes less appreciated? Imagine if your time and energy were treated as precious commodities rather than everyday givens. By being less available, you naturally elevate your value. People come to recognize and respect the big rarity of your presence. There's a simple truth in human behavior. Scarcity makes the heart grow fonder. The Stoics taught us that when we are overly available, we inadvertently diminish our own worth. Instead, creating a healthy distance allows your unique qualities to shine through. In essence, when you limit your availability, you invite others to notice and appreciate you more deeply. This isn't about being aloof or indifferent. It's about honoring your time and setting healthy boundaries. When you respect your own value, those around you learn to do the same. Think about the story of Daniel, a creative professional who was known for his constant availability. Always ready to jump into projects, he soon found that his contributions were taken for granted. Realizing the need for change, Daniel began to set clear boundaries. He limited his availability for spontaneous requests and focused on his own creative pursuits. Almost immediately, colleagues and clients began to recognize the elevated quality of his work. They started valuing his input more, understanding that his time was a rare resource not to be squandered. Daniel's transformation is a powerful reminder that by being less available, you cultivate a presence that commands respect and admiration. Here's your actionable step. For the next 7 days, consciously limit your availability. Say no more often and allocate dedicated time for your personal projects. Watch as this change not only boosts your self-esteem, but also prompts those around you to treat your time with greater reverence. Stay tuned, because up next we'll address another crucial mindset, one that will help you break free from the endless need for validation. Technique number 6, stop seeking validation. Have you ever felt trapped in the cycle of constantly seeking approval from others? Imagine a life where your self-worth isn't tied to external validation, but rather anchored in your own internal sense of value. When you stop chasing approval, you open up a world where your worth is inherent, where you are complete as you are. Many of us spend countless hours trying to win the approval of those around us. Yet, this constant pursuit can sap your energy and obscure your true self. The Stoics understood that seeking validation weakens your inner power. Epictetus reminded us that your opinion of yourself is the only one that truly matters. By ceasing the habit of looking outward for confirmation, you begin to trust your own judgment and build resilience from within. This shift in mindset allows you to focus on what truly matters: your growth, your happiness, and your personal integrity. Let me share the journey of Nina, a passionate artist who once craved constant praise from critics and peers. Nina's work was her life, and every piece was an attempt to gain the recognition she so desperately sought. Over time, however, this need for external validation left her feeling empty and creatively stifled. One day, Nina made a conscious decision to stop relying on others' opinions for her sense of worth. She started creating art solely for herself, pouring her true emotions onto the canvas without worrying about how it would be received. Gradually, Nina discovered that her work became more authentic and powerful. Her inner voice, once drowned out by the clamor for approval, now resonated with a clarity that earned her genuine respect. Her transformation illustrates that true validation comes from within. For a practical exercise, commit to a week where you consciously refrain from seeking compliments or feedback on your work. Instead, reflect on your progress privately and celebrate your own achievements. Notice how liberating it feels to rely on your own judgment and watch as your creative confidence soars. Up next, we'll explore how cultivating an unbothered mindset can further empower you to live authentically and fearlessly. Technique number 7, develop an unbothered mindset. Have you ever felt weighed down by what others think of you? Imagine embracing a mindset where external opinions simply slide off your skin, leaving you focused on what truly matters: your own well-being. Adopting an unbothered mindset means freeing yourself from the constant worry of judgment, allowing your inner confidence to shine without interference. The pressure to conform and seek approval can be overwhelming, yet it also holds you back from realizing your full potential. The Stoic principle here is simple. When you care less about the opinions of others, you liberate yourself from unnecessary burdens. As Epictetus once noted, it is not things themselves that disturb us, but our judgments about them. By letting go of the need for external validation, you create space for authentic self-expression and growth. This approach not only makes you more resilient, but also fosters an air of quiet confidence that naturally draws people toward you. Consider the story of Jordan, a rising entrepreneur who struggled with the fear of criticism. Early in his career, every negative comment felt like a personal failure, stifling his innovative spirit. Determined to break free, Jordan embarked on a journey to cultivate an unbothered mindset. He began by limiting his exposure to negative feedback and focusing instead on his vision. Over time, Jordan learned to dismiss unconstructive criticism, viewing it as mere background noise rather than a reflection of his true capabilities. His newfound attitude not only boosted his confidence, but also allowed his creative solutions to flourish in an environment free from the weight of constant judgment. For you, here's a practical step. For the next 7 days, whenever you catch yourself worrying about someone else's opinion, pause and remind yourself that their view does not define you. Cultivate moments of introspection where you celebrate your individuality and strength. This practice will help you build a resilient mindset, one that remains unshaken by external noise. Our journey continues as we shift focus to another vital mindset that champions self-improvement over petty grievances. Technique number 8, level up instead of seeking revenge. Have you ever felt the urge to retaliate when someone wrongs you? Imagine channeling that energy not into revenge, but into your own growth, transforming pain into power. Instead of falling into the trap of seeking revenge, consider leveling up. This approach not only frees you from the cycle of negativity, but also propels you toward a future where your success becomes the ultimate answer. It's natural to feel anger when hurt, yet clinging to resentment only stunts your growth. The Stoics teach us that true strength comes from within, and that the best response to adversity is to improve oneself. By focusing on self-improvement, you turn negative energy into a catalyst for progress. Marcus Aurelius observed that the best revenge is not to mimic the wrongdoer, but to rise above and excel. When you invest in yourself, you not only heal, but also send a powerful message. You are in control of your destiny, and no external force can diminish your light. Take the inspiring example of Carla, who faced a series of setbacks in her career due to office politics and personal betrayals. Instead of spiraling into bitterness, Carla decided to focus on her skills and personal development. She enrolled in courses, networked with industry experts, and dedicated herself to her craft. Over time, Carla's expertise blossomed, and her reputation grew so formidable that those who had once wronged her began to acknowledge her success with a mix of regret and admiration. Her story is a vivid illustration of how channeling your energy into self-improvement transforms challenges into stepping stones for greatness. For your practical takeaway, commit to a week of self-improvement. Identify one area of your life, be it a skill, a habit, or a mindset, and dedicate time each day to enhance it. Track your progress and let your growth be the silent testament to your resilience. As you focus on leveling up, you'll find that the desire for revenge fades into insignificance, replaced by a deep sense of personal accomplishment. Next, we'll explore how embracing self-sufficiency can further empower you to live life on your own terms. Technique number 9, the power of self-sufficiency. Have you ever experienced the freedom of knowing that your happiness isn't dependent on anyone else? Imagine standing tall, fully independent and confident in your own abilities. Self-sufficiency is about embracing the idea that your strength comes from within. When you rely on yourself, you become immune to the whims of external circumstances, and others begin to appreciate the unyielding fortitude you exude. In our modern lives, we often lean on others for validation and support, but true power lies in cultivating an inner fortress of independence. The Stoics believed that by developing self-sufficiency, you free yourself from the need for constant external approval. Epictetus taught that no one can take away your inner strength if you build it from within. This mindset not only fuels your personal growth, but also creates a magnetic presence that makes your absence feel profound. When you become self-reliant, others are naturally drawn to the calm confidence you radiate. Consider the case of Marcus, a freelance writer who once depended heavily on others' opinions to guide his creative process. Over time, he realized that waiting for validation stifled his creativity and delayed his progress. Determined to change, Marcus began to trust his own voice. He dedicated time each day to writing without distractions, relying solely on his inner guidance. The transformation was remarkable. His work not only improved in quality, but his newfound independence also garnered admiration from his peers. Marcus's journey is a powerful reminder that when you invest in yourself, your inner strength becomes an invaluable resource that others cannot replicate. For a practical exercise, set aside the next 7 days to build your self-sufficiency. Choose one area of your life, whether it's a hobby, a skill, or personal reflection, and commit to working on it independently. Notice how this focused time for yourself builds not only competence, but also an unshakable sense of self. As you grow more self-reliant, you'll begin to understand that your value is inherent and that others will come to appreciate the strength you possess. Finally, we come to a mindset that encapsulates the essence of confidence and self-worth. Technique number 10. Never chase. Let them come to you. Have you ever felt that the act of chasing someone diminishes your own worth? Imagine a scenario where instead of running after validation or attention, you allow your inherent value to draw others to you. When you stop chasing, you create an aura of calm self-assurance that compels people to seek you out naturally. In life, we often fall into the trap of constantly pursuing what we desire, mistakenly believing that our efforts must always be visible. Yet, the Stoics remind us that true magnetism comes from within. When you let go of the need to chase, you liberate yourself from dependency, and your intrinsic worth becomes unmistakable. Marcus Aurelius observed that the best way to win is by focusing on your own excellence rather than competing for attention. This approach not only preserves your dignity, but also makes your presence so compelling that others feel drawn to it without any effort on your part. By choosing to stand firm in your self-worth, you send a powerful message that you do not need to prove anything. Your essence is enough. Let's consider the journey of Samira, a marketing consultant who once exhausted herself chasing every potential client. In her early career, Samira believed that constant outreach was the key to success. However, after years of relentless effort with diminishing returns, she shifted her approach. Samira began focusing on delivering exceptional value in her work rather than pursuing every opportunity. Gradually, clients began to approach her with respect and admiration, recognizing the quality and integrity of her expertise. Her transformation illustrates that when you let go of the chase, your natural brilliance becomes the magnet that draws the right people to you. For your actionable step, commit to a week where you consciously refrain from chasing after validation, attention, or approval. Instead, focus on refining your skills, nurturing your passions, and allowing your true self to shine. Notice how, as you step back, the quality of interactions around you improves, and those who matter begin to seek your presence. This shift will empower you to live confidently, knowing that your value is inherent and that the right opportunities will come to you naturally. Embrace this practice and prepare for the next phase of your journey toward even greater personal empowerment. Let's take a moment to recap the 10 powerful Stoic mindsets we've explored today. We began by understanding the strength found in the simple act of walking away. When you choose to step back from situations or relationships that drain your energy, you reveal your true worth. People often fail to appreciate your value until you're no longer constantly available. Your absence speaks loudly, reminding others that your time and energy are precious. Next, we examined the importance of detaching from outcomes. Rather than clinging to specific results, you learned that focusing on the process allows you to grow and remain resilient. By releasing the need for a particular outcome, you free yourself from the heavy burden of expectation, allowing your actions to flourish without the weight of constant disappointment. Then, we embraced the idea that silence is power. In a world Where noise often overwhelms meaning, choosing to speak less can make your words more impactful. Your thoughtful silence creates an air of mystery and commands respect, a reminder that sometimes less truly is more. We also delved into mastering emotional control. By learning to manage your emotions instead of letting them control you, you gain the upper hand in every situation. This mindset helps you respond with clarity and purpose, even when life throws unexpected challenges your way. The discussion on the law of scarcity taught us that being less available actually increases your value. Setting healthy boundaries and protecting your time signals to others that your presence is not to be taken for granted. When you honor your own needs, people naturally begin to value your contributions more deeply. We then explored the critical lesson of stopping the pursuit of validation. Constantly seeking approval from others only weakens your sense of self. By trusting your own judgment and letting go of the need for external praise, you build an inner strength that is both liberating and empowering. Next, we looked at developing an unbothered mindset. When you care less about the opinions of others, you unlock a powerful freedom. This shift allows you to live more authentically and confidently, relying on your inner voice rather than the echo of external judgment. Following that, we shifted our focus to leveling up instead of seeking revenge. Rather than wasting energy on retribution, channel that energy into self-improvement. As you build your own skills and refine your character, you transform setbacks into stepping stones for success. The power of self-sufficiency was our next revelation. When you rely on your own inner strength and resourcefulness, you become a beacon of confidence and independence. This self-reliance not only enriches your life, but also leaves a lasting impression on those around you. Finally, we learned that never chasing, letting others come to you, creates an irresistible allure. By ceasing the endless pursuit of validation and attention, you allow your inherent worth to shine through. Your confidence becomes so magnetic that the right people and opportunities naturally gravitate toward you. Each of these mindsets works together to form a roadmap toward reclaiming your self-respect and living authentically. They remind you that your value is inherent and independent of others' opinions. Now let's move to a final power statement that encapsulates the essence of today's journey. Imagine a life where you no longer feel compelled to chase after approval or validation. A life where your energy is dedicated solely to the pursuit of self-mastery. The moment you stop chasing is the moment they start noticing. Picture yourself as someone who lives with quiet confidence, someone who focuses on building inner strength and letting their natural light shine. This is not just a lofty ideal, it's a practical way of living that redefines your interactions with the world. Every boundary you set becomes a declaration of your self-worth. Every decision made in alignment with your inner truth creates a ripple of positive change. When you master yourself, you create a sanctuary of resilience and peace. In that space, you become impervious to the trivial judgments of others. Your focus shifts from seeking external validation to nurturing your own growth. This transformative approach not only enhances your life, but also inspires those around you to seek their own paths of self-improvement. By embracing these Stoic principles, you are actively crafting a life filled with purpose, strength, and unwavering authenticity. Visualize standing firm in your truth, knowing that your worth is determined by the values you hold dear and the boundaries you maintain. As you continue on this journey of self-discovery, remember that every small act of self-respect accumulates into a powerful statement of who you are. With each passing day, as you commit to these principles, you will witness a subtle yet profound change in the way people respond to you. They will begin to notice your absence, appreciate your presence, and ultimately respect the unyielding force of your self-assurance. The moment you stop chasing, is the moment they start noticing. Focus on mastering yourself, and the world will follow. Now, as we wrap up this transformative journey, I invite you to share your thoughts and reflections. Which mindset hit you the hardest? Tell me in the comments below. Your experiences and insights are incredibly valuable. If you found today's message empowering, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Your support not only fuels this community, but also helps spread the timeless wisdom of Stoicism to more people who are ready to embrace their true worth. Thank you for being a part of this journey toward inner strength and self-mastery.